everyone, my name is Jasmine and welcome back to another feel-good planty video. Today I'm going to be showing you my Calathea collection as well as sharing what I do to keep my Calatheas happy. So if you are a seasoned houseplant collector, hobbyist, enthusiast, whatever you want to call it, then you probably already know that Calatheas get a bad rap. I am not going to say that it's not for good reason. I certainly have had my moments with Calathea. Calatheas are basically the divas of the plant jungle. That's not to say that you shouldn't collect Calatheas because they are absolutely beautiful and I understand why people collect them, but I am going to be real about what it takes to keep them happy because they are some of the more high maintenance houseplants to own. I've actually downsized my Calathea collection just because I've reached a point where I don't really want to put in that much energy and that much money into keeping them thriving. And I'm going to share with you what has actually worked for me and what I've changed since then as I've downsized my Calathea collection. So the first Calathea that I'm going to show you today in my collection is this red Maranta. It's in this really ugly pot right now because I downsized it from a terracotta, which is another thing. Do not put your Calathea in terracotta. They are not gonna really thrive in it. Terracotta actually sucks up a lot of the moisture, which is completely the opposite of what Calatheas like, which is moist soil. The Maranta is actually one of the most easiest Calathea. It is a lot less picky when it comes to humidity and light, and these actually could do pretty well in medium to low light, and I don't really give it a lot of humidity. My house is really warm because I live in Los Angeles and it's the summer, so the inside of my house stays consistently warm, which is a big reason I think that my Calatheas have thrived. So just keep that in mind. And one thing about Calatheas is that their foliage goes up at night and it's in synchronization with the light that it receives. So towards the end of the evening, the leaves go up, and then in the mornings, the leaves go down, and it's actually really cool. And that's why they're called prayer plants. All right, and the next plant that I have is this Calathea Beauty Star. It looks very similar to the Calathea Ornata. Yeah, so the Calathea Ornata pinstripe is very similar to this Calathea Beauty Star. This one is also another one that's just really easy going for me. I haven't really had to give it that much humidity. It seems to like the conditions in my home. Like I mentioned, it's pretty warm in my house. To be honest, I do not give any of my Calatheas filtered or distilled water. That is one of the biggest care recommendations for Calatheas, is that you have to give them filtered or distilled water. I was doing that for a minute, but honestly I stopped because it got really expensive. So my Calatheas don't really have the brown crispy tips that you would see on Calatheas that aren't really happy with the water or humidity. And if your Calathea does get crispy tips, that's just what happens. Just keep an eye on it. Make sure that it stays moist. I think that's the biggest rule that I would say, is do not ever let your Calatheas dry out. All right, third plant, this is a Calathea Ornata, and as you can see, it looks very similar to the Beauty Star that I just showed you. This one and I have been through quite a journey. This was a rehab plant that I got from my friend Kathy, and when I got her, she was just mangled. Like, there was only 2 or 3 leaves and they were all like super crispy, really ugly. I repotted it, I kept an eye on it, I gave it like the optimal humidity and water conditions. Nothing really happened, so I figured I'd just chop it all off. Sometimes you just have to do that with a plant. If it's not doing anything for you, just chop it down and it will grow back again. Trust me. All of these 3 leaves are brand new leaves from when I first got the plant, and you can see that they're actually a little bit crispy, and I believe that they're crispy because I let it dry out once or twice, so I'm not going to do that again, but still a beautiful plant. Fourth and final plant, this is a Variegated Maranta. This one I got from a plant trade a few weeks ago, and I'm absolutely in love with it. It's so gorgeous. It's got this creamy white splash with the green, and it's trailing, which I love. I'm really into trailing plants right now. I'm giving it some medium indirect light and making sure that the soil is moist, and there's actually a new growth point coming in. I don't know if you can see it. and I don't really give it a lot of humidity. I actually just group all of my Calathea together, which is something that people recommend, is to group your houseplants together because it does increase the humidity and it acts as its own little ecosystem, biome, whatever you want to call it. One thing I will say about grouping houseplants together is that you should definitely keep an eye on them because it makes it easier for pests to spread if one of the houseplants has pests. So just keep an eye on your plants, check on the underside of the leaves every so often, and hopefully you don't get any pests. I'm a little bummed that I didn't film this Calathea collection video earlier because I did recently sell 2 of my other Calatheas, but what are you gonna do? So that's all of the Calatheas that are in my collection. I actually had a Calathea corner, as I'd like to call it, and I had my Dieffenbachia as like the centerpiece, and then around it I had my Calathea collection, but I got tired of that Calathea corner because it kind of felt really clustered. All right, everybody, that is all I have to share for today's video. I've had many Calatheas in my time, and I want to say that I've never killed a Calathea. I've come very close, but I have been able to bring them back from the dead. So if you have any questions about, keeping Calatheas happy, I am happy to help. If you are not subscribed and you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a thumbs up if you liked it. All right, that is all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye!